Remember Pokemon? Of course you do. It never went away, and everybody knows Pokemon. Did you know that Pokemon was not actually made by Nintendo, though? It was made by a company named Game Freak. What else is Game Freak known for? Honestly, not much else. I mean, I think they made Drill Dozer on the Game Boy Advance, but outside of Pokemon, they've never really had a massive critical success with another game. In fact, like I said, I can't even think of anything else other than Drill Dozer off the top of my head. That said, Game Freak put a game out this year. It's called Giga Wrecker, and it's on the PC. And back when I reviewed Drop Zone, I said that I was going to be reviewing Giga Wrecker. So here I am, finally coming around to it. To be completely honest, I haven't actually finished this game. I really do prefer to finish the games I review, and thus far I have finished every game that I have reviewed, or put in a good amount of time, if it's the kind of game that you can't finish. With Giga Wrecker, I have put in about 4 hours, and looking online it says it's about 9 or 10 hours long, so I'm roughly halfway, but I have some pretty strong feelings about this game, and to put it bluntly, I have too many other new games that I would rather spend my time playing, to be completely honest. But I already promised back when I reviewed Drop Zone that I would review this game, so here it is. Giga Wrecker is a 2D action puzzle platformer. I had no idea what it was when I bought it, and bought it purely off of the trailer, which makes it look a lot more fast-paced and Metroidvania / Mega Man-y than it actually is. Giga Wrecker is the story of a girl named Reika. She is caught in the middle of an explosion after a mysterious girl tells her that she is there to kill her. Reika is revived by a doctor who fits her with some robot parts that allow her to manipulate debris and use that debris as weapons and tools to fight against enemies and solve puzzles. At the core of this world, robots have become sentient and are rising in power, attempting to extinguish the human race. Reika is tasked with destroying some weapons and robot manufacturing centers in an attempt to kill off the robots. I am very mixed about this game as a whole. Let's start with the positives. I really liked the art direction. The clean 2D sprites look really good and have smooth movements and animation. The lighting effects of things like lasers look really cool, and the backgrounds are all really detailed. Cutscenes are told through still images. The art during the cutscenes looks really cool as well. It's anime style, but also kind of abstract, and it looks like it's drawn with watercolor. I just think it looks really cool and interesting and unique, even if it is just a still image. Though I would have preferred to see this kind of style of art in motion, as I think it would have looked really cool and different. I like the idea of carrying debris that you find by killing enemies and destroying the environment, and being able to use that debris as weapons for tools or for killing more difficult enemies or for solving puzzles. It's something unique that I haven't really seen in a platformer before. When the game works, I think it's fun. It has a unique pacing. It isn't really open world, though you can explore areas at your leisure, and it isn't very fast-paced. Essentially, each room acts like a puzzle room. You have to solve puzzles by destroying the environment in a certain way to make platforming tasks possible, usually with the intention of hitting a button or flipping a switch. Sometimes you need to line up lasers. In a sense, the rooms themselves are fairly fast-paced as you're performing a series of platforming maneuvers while killing enemies and solving puzzles, but each room sort of breaks up the pacing from the game as a whole. This is because you need to solve puzzles. Sometimes it would take a while for you to figure out not only what you were doing and where you were going, but what it is you were trying to accomplish. This slows down the game, but that slowing down doesn't necessarily hurt Giga Wrecker. It just sets it apart as its own thing in the puzzle platformer genre instead of just an action platformer. As I've mentioned numerous times, you can carry debris. The debris is held like a ball, growing in size as you destroy more robots and more of the environment. You can then manipulate the debris into things like swords to cut through things, big fists to punch through robots, giant cubes to walk on, or javelins to throw and use as platforms. You can only utilize these actions while you have debris, and you can collect new debris through a recall move. You can also earn crystals, which are used to make upgrades. These upgrades include things like more health, further attack range, and health regen. There are also boss fights that I enjoyed. They can be a little challenging, but once you get their attack patterns down, it's no big deal. They all have a unique way that they can be defeated, and they all have some pretty cool attacks as well. Let's get into what I didn't like. First, there's the obvious. Kind of a generic story with a lot of names and places that you don't really know or care about, lack of voice acting, lack of fully animated cutscenes, and some grammatical errors in the dialogue. All things that I can look past and still have an enjoyable experience. My other complaints taint my opinion of this game though. From the very first steps of this game, it's apparent that there's going to be way too much dialogue in this game. This is the kind of pace-breaking shit that I don't like. I don't like having to stop every couple of seconds to listen to an NPC spout some shit that I don't care about. Let me play the game, maybe explain some of the finer things that I might not understand off the bat, but for the most part let me figure out how the game works myself. I mean, the doctor tells you straight up how to defeat certain bosses in the game. I don't remember fucking Dr. Light telling me how to kill Airman in Mega Man 2 after I died to him too many times. The shit that really pisses me off though was how awkward the mechanics of this game are. First off, you can only use the joystick for platforming, a giant pet peeve of mine. I don't think the stick has as much accuracy and precision for platforming as a good D-pad has, and this game needs precision. The game seems to follow its own rules too. Sometimes I would fall right through floors, sometimes my debris would fall through the floor, sometimes I would get slingshot when platforms move, other times I'll just stand there. Sometimes debris gets in my way and prevents me from lining myself up for a jump, or sometimes it'll even get in the way of the cubes that I'm trying to use to reach higher places. Sometimes I flat out couldn't tell what a platform was and what was the background. Most frustratingly is that when these inconsistencies apply to puzzle solving. Look at this fucking laser puzzle. I literally spent 40 minutes in this room trying to figure out what the fuck to do. I tried breaking shit and moving shit and I couldn't figure it out. Eventually I looked up what to do. In a video, someone just broke the gray blocks, something I had already been doing this entire time, but my laser wasn't lining up. So I started doing it again and again and again and again until finally the laser lined up. How are you supposed to solve puzzles when the physics and mechanics of the game are inconsistent to the point where the same solution will yield different results? The puzzles in general were frustrating and irritating because of awkward platforming, controls, and physics. For a game like this, things need to be tight, and they're not. They're loose and inconsistent, and it made for an infuriating experience for me. As a whole, Giga Wrecker ultimately falls short for me. A game with a unique premise and enjoyable art style falls victim to poor level design and shoddy controls and physics. With a little polish, the game could have been better, but unfortunately in its current state, it's a frustrating mess, and it didn't hold my interest like I hoped it would. What are your thoughts on Giga Wrecker? Are there any other Game Freak games that we should check out? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you, until next time.
Yeah.